to wait your turn. It's a question about police funding. So as we all know, there are lots of social issues that are dividing our nation, and they could potentially divide our city. We all know the city of Austin recently voted to significantly reduce funding to provide provided to its police department by the tune of $150 million. And despite the fact that those are nonpartisan seats in Austin as well, the councilman who is credited for drafting that legislation is known to be affiliated with a major party, the Democratic Party, and has accepted endorsement of the Travis County Democratic Party. So where do you stand, and this is a question for all of you, where do you stand on matters regarding defunding the Pearland Police Department and or instituting police reform? And if elected, would you support or oppose any effort to defund the Pearland Police Department or shrink its budget significantly?
The answer is no. I'm going to look at you straight in the eye and say that. The reality of the situation is 86% of public safety spending goes to salaries. The other 14% has to cover supplies, has to cover training, has to cover vehicles. Our Pearland police do not have enough resources today to do the job. I'm the only candidate in the race who's proposing adding more funding using the election of a Section 363 district. That kind of a district is voted by the voters, and the dollars that can be used are only used for everything but essentially salaries. And the reality of the situation, what happened is Austin is pretty poor form. If you go look at the vote record, it was a unanimous vote. Not one person could go and say, we think that the police are okay, or are willing to stick up and say, you know what, we're not going to bow to political pressure. The reality of the situation is the Pearland police have done an admirable job. All the police across the country are under an immense amount of stress. As you saw in Los Angeles, I want to say yesterday, or it might have been this morning, 2 officers were shot in their vehicle, unprovoked, not serving, but beyond their car, and somebody shot those 2 people. And the reality of the situation is there's a gigantic manhunt, and this kind of rhetoric that we're seeing about it's us and them, the police and everybody else, is causing division across this country. The police need to be supported, not scolded. Do they have issues that we need to work on? Do we need to hold them to the highest standards? Absolutely. The good thing about Pearland is our police have been meeting those standards and exceeding them.